I'm back with Mental Health Chats, and we are working with you for better emotional fitness. And we're here continuing the topic of self-harm. So today, my guest is Tom Hoskins. Hello, Tom. How are you going?
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm going great.
Great. I'm so glad you're going great. So Tom's going to be talking to us today on the thoughts around self-injuries behaviour. And Tom has a great expertise in this field. So Tom, would you like to tell everybody what you do?
Hello, everyone. So I am a mental health life coach in Gloucestershire. I run a company called Chances Change, and Chances Change is a life coach and mentoring service for young people who struggle with their mental health and also children as well. I specialise in terms of early intervention and building the mind for young people to be able to find their voice, and also then if they're ready for intense counselling. So it's about building the mind, making them understand about how to manage their feelings, talk to someone who they can trust, they can understand as well, and it's relatable as well. And a lot of my work is very simplified. It's very simple in terms of, so it's inclusive education, so everyone can take something from it or gain something from it, because it's really, really relatable to our children and our young people from the ages of 6 to 25. I have a massive passion for making a change, and this is why my motto is called "Every chance is an opportunity to change." And basically it's just giving young people a platform to voice their views, because not enough kids get validated in terms of a lot of kids in our society and in our generation now, they get made to feel invalidated and not listened to, and that's the main reason for in terms of de-escalation and dysregulated young people, in my opinion.
That's really, really interesting. And we've had a series on teenagers and young people, and one of the themes that kept coming through was the listening side of things.
Yeah.
And that's what you've just mentioned there, to help them feel validated. And I know with my children, there are times that I'm so busy that I don't listen well all the time, and I've had to slow myself down.
Yeah, it's adapting, isn't it? It's very much adapting. And this is a little backstory. I mean, I'll make it quick because we have more important topics in terms of talk about. Is I'm from a council estate. My father's been in prison. I went to a school which was not known as the best school in Gloucester, but I couldn't control what was around me. But what I could control is how I deal with that and put a platform for me to achieve. And then my in terms of experiences going through life. And this is why I say every day is practice. Every day is a new page in your own personal autobiography that only you can see, and only you can recite back and remember things that you've been through. But allowing yourself to be able to talk to people is how you get your message across, and it's how you create change. But it takes a lot for someone to talk. It's not as easy as what I'm doing right now. No one would know I've got a speech problem, but I expose myself to be able to talk and get listened to. And there's been times where I don't get listened to, but I am the voice for young people as well. And I want to make a change in the community because they have so much potential, and it gets misread sometimes, and we're not able to unlock their potential. And again, this is why another reason why they go down the route to hurting themselves, because they're not being listened to, or they're being told to be someone else. You have to be happy in your job. You have to be happy with your aspirations. I don't feel like I go to work every day. Like, it's something I love. I got a smile on my face, and that helps my emotional fitness. And that helps in terms of my mental health as well, because there's a lot of stigma around mental health where it's all negative. You can have positive mental health, and it's okay to be not okay. So if you can get listened to, that is how you progress every step, not jumping straight to the top of the staircase, because that don't work.
Yeah. I love your passion. And I love your honesty. Thank you for sharing briefly your story with us. And this is all around the thought process of self-harm, our chat today. Yeah. And you've used the word mind a few times. So can you just enlighten us, please, Tom, as to how do people's minds actually cause them to self-harm?
So in terms of young people now are totally different to young people 20 years ago. These kids, our children now, and our generation and our future, has been exposed to so much in terms of social media, in terms of appearance ideals, looking a certain way. And if they don't look like a influencer on the TV or Love Island, these people, okay, ambition to go on Love Island, etc. Kids want to do that. And if they don't look a certain way, that is damaging to how they feel. And also relating back to schools, if kids don't interact a certain way, there are, in terms of children at that school who will call them names, and the cycle of that will just get into a horrible anxiety cycle and in terms of self-harm cycle where kids can't get out of that. And then what happens then is, because they can't control the way they look, it keeps them up at night time as well. And they're just thinking and they're thinking. And when they're tired, so this is something I really wanted to talk to you about on this chat, is that this theory I created about the mind around the moat. Okay, and a moat is obviously a castle on a moat, and there's water around it. And the only way you can get onto that in terms of on the castle, if the bridge comes down. Okay, so I thought about that and make it relatable, because everyone knows what that is. So I class that as your mental health defense. That is you. You are on a moat. Okay, and around outside the moat is all our negative emotions, the self-doubt, the anxiety, the anger, it's the judgment, everything you can think of, and you're rubbish, you're not the right person, blah blah. And if our mental health defenses are strong, this can't affect us. The only way when our bridge starts to lower, if we don't look after ourselves and create a healthy lifestyle. I don't like using the word diet, but I class it as a healthy lifestyle. So if you're sleeping properly, if you're eating properly, a healthy balance, if you're reflecting, because that's the key, is about reflecting about things you go through, because it's fine to make a mistake. It's how you reflect, it's how you move on. And in terms of exercise, but everything needs to be a balance. You can't, again, on the motorway, I said this to you, didn't I, is if you go over the speed limit by 20 miles per hour, you get stopped. But if you go under the speed limit, you get stopped. It's finding a balance in terms of with sleeping, with eating, with exercise, with talking. Okay. So when we start to don't look after them, or we self-harm them, and we don't take them in terms of the way they're supposed to be, that bridge starts to lower and lower and lower. And it usually happens at night time. You're tired. There's no one around who you can really talk to except these great helplines, which, yes, they're brilliant, but it's not hands-on as well, because friends are asleep, families asleep. So your bridge is down. Your overthinking's happening. These negative thoughts are coming onto this castle, your mind, and they're invading your mind. They're taking over. They're taking over your mind. They're telling you that you're a bad person, you're ugly, and you're not this, and you're not that. This is where the start of hating themselves. And that's my view on it. It's my thought on it. They start to self-harm. They start to get into a pattern because they hate themselves, the way they look, the way their mind is, the way they are. And they just get into this overthinking, and in terms of pattern. And overthinking is an opinion. It's not factual. Okay. We have to be living in the present. The present is now. But again, if you've got no one who you could trust, and trust is a big thing, trust is talking to someone who you trust. And if you don't have that, that's when you get into that pattern of overthinking, and you start thinking things which are opinions and not factual. And that's the scary mindset that is. Okay, and that can happen. Self-harm can happen. And then you start hygiene, and it all gets into a horrible pattern when you lock yourself away. And your only way to cope is to hurt yourself, because it's their coping mechanism, which I try to change and coach out of them, because it's an unhealthy response. But it's their only response. And it's about learning with them and talking to them and get them to a point where, yes, they might do it, but can they reflect about it? And what was the reason? So then you start cancelling the things out of the things that they're struggling with, and you understand them and stuff. So yeah, mind around the moat. And I want everyone to take that theory, because it's so important.
Fantastic way to describe it. And you've used the term emotional fitness, which is what I'm all about. And you haven't read the book yet. So once you read the book, spot on with what I've said as well. So I love the fact that we're both coming from the same angle here, and it's so powerful. So one of the aims of mental health chats is to really help the listeners and those people, around them, if they've got any of these worries, these mental health concerns. So with regards to self-harm, if there's a listener out there who is self-harming themselves, or if they know of somebody who is self-harming, what can they do to help?
So our most powerful tool is our mouth. That is our ammunition. Okay. So again, a lot of theories I created is 3 steps to a calm approach. And this is for the listeners now, because this is how you can create a calm approach. Okay. So you need to recognize that you're really, really struggling. Okay. You need to recognize that your friend's struggling. Okay. You need to talk to them. Right. Let's do it from 2 sides. You got your friend's point of view and the person who is self-harming, because friends, if they go behind their back, it's going to cause a bigger problem. Okay. So let's start with the self-harming. Okay. You have to get out of the cycle for anxiety. It's not going to go away straight away. So if you self-harming every day, you have to work at it. Okay. You have to go, let's go, right. You go 2 days without self-harming, and then you self-harm. Okay. But then you talk about it, you reflect about it. And then you need to have a battle with yourself then to go an extra 4 days, 6 days, 9 days, 17 days. And then this is 21 days, create a rule. Okay. And it creates a habit. 90 days creates a lifestyle. Work to get towards 21 days without self-harming. Okay. And that sounds, again, really easy with how I'm saying it, but it comes from talking. It comes around the mind, around the mouth. It comes from the 3 steps to a calm approach: the recognize, the regulate, the reflect. You can't talk to no one if you're angry. You can't talk to no one if you can't understand your own thoughts and it gets too much and too much. You have to regulate by calming yourself down. There's some great self-care tips all on in terms of social media, the positive side of social media. Surround yourself with positivity. Look at motivation podcasts, because kids with no motivation can't move on. So listen to, in terms of motivation, doing what you want to do in terms of your aspirations will move you on to the next stage, then be able to talk about it. Okay. When you're in a massive hole, it's very hard to get out of it. Okay. And climbing up back to get out, but then getting back down again. Just keep going like this. We have to keep working at it by talking to people around us, by recognizing and regulating and reflecting. Reflecting is so key. But on the other side of our friends, you are understanding that our friends aren't great. Okay. And to be fair, that's a horrible situation to be when you know your friend's struggling. But again, it's learning about in terms of mental health from their side. Okay. Talking to them and gaining their trust to be able to, like, we really need to sort this out. Let's go out together. Let's go for walks. Okay. Let's try and increase in terms of emotional fitness. Let's try and get out of this hole. I'm here for you. But remember, if you've got a friend who is also struggling with their mental health, it's not a good mixture. You have to focus on you as well to get out of that. Okay. If you feel like you can't cope with their needs, you have to say to them, okay, I'm going to be able to, I need to talk to them because I'm really, really worried about you. Okay. And so I always say to my kids sometimes, I'm happy to fall out with you, because in the long run, you're going to thank me, because and the most greatest saying is, it only gets worse before it gets better. You have to go into that horrible cycle of going, oh, someone knows, and it will get easier. And, you know, Sarah, we spoke, Claire, I work with 120 kids a week, and not every kid's in terms of self-harmer, but every kid's got a voice, and every kid's voice needs to be heard, because everyone's different. Okay. Also, another tip from a friend's point of view: don't say I know what you're going through, because you don't. No one does. The only person they know what they're going through is themselves. Listen to them. That's when you can get an understanding of what they're going through. Okay. That word, in terms of, in counseling terms, it's called red flagging. It's saying that I know what you're going through. You don't. Every mind's different. You might have gone through a similar thing, but your mind is different. Understand it. Name the behavior. Okay. So don't go, oh, that's silly behavior because you're self-harming. That's silly. It's not. That behavior, it's a behavior, and behind that behavior is a person who's struggling. Okay. And it is all about adapting and understanding, finding their interest. That's the great thing. If they like playing football, go out and kick a football. If they like singing, go out. And I will always say this with one of my kids, and I won't mention any names for safeguarding reasons, but this is a young person who had a voice, let's say, of an angel. Her voice is an amazing. It was amazing, and she was so anxious, and she was a self-harmer, to be fair, and she was so anxious to be able to talk in front of people. So we worked together to, again, adapt to our modern times now. And she made a page called the Anxiety Singer, and the Anxiety Singer was, every post was in terms of, you couldn't see her face, all you see was a black wall. That's it. And then she sung over it. Okay, so she's exposed herself to this in terms of anxiety, and then people started to comment and go, "Wow, you're amazing." And wow, your voice is like an angel. Oh my God, we want to see more. And it come multiply from 10 likes to 40 likes to comments after comments, to a point in 3 weeks' time, she posted a video of herself singing like this.
Wow, I love that story.
And, I'll be honest with you, progression is massive. And what she's been through is what she's been through and how she's in terms of got over it and put it into a negative situation into a positive. And it's like very much surround yourself with positivity. You put yourself next to a rotten apple and you're a fresh apple, the fresh apple is gonna rot. Okay, surround yourself with positivity. Don't just go with someone because they want you to like them or something. Just go with a friendship group because you get something out of it. Okay, and you get listened to. As you can see, Claire, I'm so passionate. Like I'm getting emotional.
So passionate. I'm loving it. I'm mesmerized. And what I'm also loving is we're on the same page. And only yesterday with a group that I was training in the workplace on showing empathy, I said, never say, I understand how you're feeling, because we don't. Even if we've had the same situation, we don't understand how they're feeling.
And yeah.
It's all about them. It's not about me. It's about
Exactly. And as I said, coming back to what I said about my dad being in prison, functional behavior and the development of the brain. Okay. You get an 8-year-old whose dad's gone in prison. I was 16 when my dad went into prison. My mind was already made. Not my main, but it matured. It understanding obviously my feelings and my own insecurities. An 8-year-old, ACEs, adverse child occurrences, will have an impact on over life. Don't judge and go, well, your dad's been in prison, you're going to go end that way. And that's the hardest thing sometimes when teachers will say to kids, you're going to end up like your dad. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay. Your dad's made a mistake or your mum's made a mistake. Okay. And that's life. Life is a lesson. Okay. And it's how you can
learn all the time. I say that to my kids all the time. We're learning.
It's fine to make a mistake. It's fine. But if you keep making that mistake and you're not reflecting, then you need it. Then in terms of you're not going to learn from mistakes. And I make many mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
Of course. And then every day for me is a learning. So I don't think I'm arrogant and go, I'm the best at my job. I know everything. Not at all.
I'm dealing with people.
This much I know. Okay, so what I try to do is connect with people like you, Claire, and other people. And also I created this thing. I created a podcast called The Frontline of Mental Health. And I'm not publicizing it to people to go look at it.
Yeah, go and listen.
It's called The Frontline of Mental Health. And you might look at that and think, oh, actually, Tom's thinking just the frontline of mental health. No, the front line is everyone. Parents, kids, professionals, teachers, everyone. We're all the front line to mental health. We are the Avengers of mental health.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have to create a massive positive team for the battle of mental health, because it's not going to go away. We need more people. Okay. Self-harm is you get into a pattern of self-harm if you keep doing it, and it becomes a habit, and it's rare to have a positive day. So you live in a cycle of having a negative day every day, and then you have that one positive day, okay, which is like, oh my God, I got a good day, and then boom, the next day something happens again, and then you're back in that cycle. So you have to have more positive days than you have negative days, but it's hard. It's in terms of surrounding yourself with the podcasters, the self-care apps, positive pages, friendship groups, that you get something out of it. Okay, understanding your inner beauty. Appreciate your inner beauty. No one can see that. Okay, but your inner beauty is you. All right, and your inner beauty and your personality speaks way more than the outside. Okay, do something, because that's the key thing, is inner beauty, promoting inner beauty. Okay, inner beauty, because that is so important. But no, let's all connect. Let's make a difference. Come onto my page, my Instagram page. It's called Chances Change One, and there's some great tips to surround yourself with positivity.
So we've got a couple of ways to actually get in contact with Tom there: Instagram and through his podcast. And you've also got a website which is called chanceschange.com. Tom, you have been so enlightening. You have given so much information and so much of your passion. So thank you so much for your time. Get in contact with Tom if you want any help. He coaches young people. He helps people to get into the positivity.
Yep.
Our guest for Mental Health Chats is a lady called 𝗖𝗵𝗆𝗀𝗆, who is a mental health nurse, and she's going to be talking about recovery for self-harm. So thank you, Tom, and take care.
Thank you very much. See you later. Bye.
Bye.